Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeannie Ralston. I'm the founder of Next Tribe, and we just love having these Thursday events where we get to meet new, interesting women doing great work. And two of the women who are doing some really great work and important work, because this is stuff that we all need to hear, are Dana Hilmer and Wendy Perrotti. And they are the founders. Say hi, Dana.
Hello.
And hi, Wendy. There's Wendy. They have started something called Camp Reinvention. And we are so aligned on this because a lot of what we do at Next Tribe is talk about reinvention or talk about what's possible at this stage in life. And they are actually helping you get the tools you need to make this new future possible for yourself. And I had the honor of speaking at one of their events in the fall where they were talking about reinvention in terms of career, but there's many types of reinvention, right? There's not just your career or whatever. There's also your health, your wellness, your approach to life, your mental wellness. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight is your health and wellness. And how at this stage, a lot of us need to maybe find a new way to think about it and approach it, because some of the things we've been doing before haven't been working, or also we absolutely been looking at everybody else, taking care of everybody else and not ourselves. And I think that one of the great things that we just published was a story about a woman. It's called How to Take Care of Yourself as Well as You Take Care of Everyone Else. And it's a lesson she learned because she was so into helping everybody else that she ended up falling down the stairs and almost cracking her head open, but she didn't even stop then. She went and kept going. And finally, she ended up taking herself to the emergency room. But it's just what we do as women. We start looking at what everybody else needs, and we're not looking at ourselves. So I think it's a good time. This is a great time to be talking about it. We all need that extra oomph of motivation to get going. So let me introduce you to Wendy and Dana. Wendy is a certified professional coach, speaker, and leadership trainer with over 25 years of experience in helping individuals and groups nationwide to affect change in themselves and others. Wendy believes anything is possible when you know what you want and you're all in. And she navigated her own successful reinvention when she realized her vision of success had nothing to do with the company she spent years building. So welcome to Wendy.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Great. And then we have her partner, Dana. And Dana is also a certified coach, positive psychology consultant, speaker, and trainer, and is passionate about helping women live courageously so they can build their dream and love their life. Dana is no stranger to reinvention herself, as midlife is when she finally listened to her heart and stopped shooting all over herself. I love that phrase, shooting, to do the work that she loves today. So welcome to you too, Dana.
Thank you so much for having me, for having us.
Well, and I just want to start off by saying it's interesting to me because you did get me to start thinking. Whenever I talk about reinvention, I guess in the past I've talked about it. I've thought about it as reinventing career and that kind of thing. But I love that you are broadening it to include reinventing your health. So tell me what motivated you to think that way.
Yes, Wendy and I are going to go back and forth. And I just want to say too, this is a conversation. So we're going to be sharing a lot of good nuggets. We'll have, questions that Jeannie's going to ask us, and we have some teaching that we want to share, but this is definitely a conversation. So chime in, ask your questions. If something resonates, let us know. Okay. It's interesting. No reinvention is too small. I think a lot of times we think that to reinvent, we've got to sell our house, move to Italy, or whatever it happens to be. And sometimes just shifting our mindset or taking care of ourselves in a way that we haven't taken care of ourselves can be so powerful in and of itself that has a trickle effect to everything else. So we really think that our ability to be happy, to be successful, to have great relationships, all has to do with how well you're taking care of yourself. That's where it starts. And there's a lot of science to show that. So that's what we're going to dive in today on is thinking about who are you at your best. You want to be healthy, you want to be well, you want to be energized and vibrant. So we're going to spend some time envisioning what that is for you and some things that you can do to start moving in that direction.
And Wendy, in a personal sense, have you reinvented how you approach health? I mean, in the last few years yourself?
I think I've reinvented so many times in my life. I've reinvented my career. I've reinvented my roles. I've reinvented, and they've been successful. Like most of the women, I'm sure, who are here with us are rock stars in many of the things that they've done in their lives. But it doesn't mean that once you've gotten there, it feels right. Or it doesn't mean that there's not a next evolution. And that's what I think, especially at this stage of our lives, I think that's what reinvention is about. It's that next evolution of ourselves. And right now we're talking about health and well-being, right? And just diving into body, mind, spirit. In the fall, we were talking about career. Ultimately, though, the work that Dana and I do at Camp Reinvention is about building the woman behind the goal. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to get another job. Some of the tactical things that you're going to do are different for those different things. But what you do on the inside, how you build yourself up to be ready for that next evolution, that's what we're talking about. That's where all of the power is.
And I did know do you have to then know what you want? I mean, how do you know what it is you want? Okay, I mean, and what's realistic? Okay, I want a very slim, curvy body. But what's realistic, and how do you figure that out?
It's interesting. Again, we're talking about total person well-being. So this is mind, body, and spirit. And so we need to get clear on what we want, because of course, if we can't envision it, it's not going to happen. So we need to take some time, first of all, to pause and think about what do we want. And Jeannie, you referenced the stop shooting on yourself. That is something that is so fundamental. It's one of our favorite teachings, actually, is the many ways that we women should all over ourselves, from the way we think we should look, the way we think we should be, the career we think we should have. We should be thinner. We should be this. We should be that, right?
Right.
You put so much pressure on ourselves to be a certain way according to what we think is prescribed for us, not subscribed, prescribed for us, or what the culture says we should be, right? That it can take years to actually pause and think about, wait a minute, is this what I want? Wait a minute, is this really who I need to be? It's interesting. We also should away our time. And if you think about it, we women have so many responsibilities. We are so busy taking care of other people. We have jobs, we have people in our lives, we have all these roles that we play. And at the end of the day, each one of those roles has an expectation attached to it, right? So we need to get clear for ourselves on what is it that I want for myself? Who is it that I want to be? How do I want to show up? How do I want to feel, right? Like a lot of times we don't even stop to ask ourselves these questions. And, there's a beautiful book, I don't know if you've heard about it, from Bronnie Ware. And it's a book called The Top Regrets of the Dying. And Bronnie was a hospice nurse, and she spent 10 years with people in their last days. And the number one regret of the dying is, I wish I had the courage to live the life that is true to me, not the life that other people expected of me. And so I think part of what we're doing here collectively today is kind of pushing that pause button and asking ourselves, what do I want?
Right.
How do I want to feel? Right.
Right.
And it starts with asking that question and actually being honest to yourself, and kind of peeling away the layers of the onion, if you will, to ask yourself, well, wait a minute, is that really what I want? Why do I want it?
Right. And I think that it also comes into making time to meditate, to work out, all those things that we know are good for us, but it comes at the bottom of the list. And I guess one of the things that you work with people in this realm is getting that time to the top of the list, I would imagine, right?
Absolutely. Actually, I wasn't planning on sharing the story, but I'll share about my mom. My mom died at a really young age. She was only 63. and she died 14 years ago. And I don't remember her smile.
Oh,
I don't remember her smile. And she did all the things, so many of the things I think she thought she should do, right? My sister and I had a beautiful home, great meals. We were exposed to wonderful things. We grew up in great school districts. She did the things she thought she should do, but at the end of the day, she wasn't taking care of herself. At the end of the day, she wasn't following her dreams. She put everything on hold. And I think the biggest gift she could have given to us, to those that loved her, was her smile, right? Like if she was pursuing what made her happy, that would have lit us up. And of course, when all of us are pursuing what makes us happy, we give people permission to do the same. But I do think that oftentimes, as we're taking care of other people, as we're doing these things that we think we should do, as we're weighed down by responsibility, sometimes we can feel guilty taking care of ourselves or guilty pursuing our happiness, but it's actually the other way around. That is the biggest gift you can give to people that you love. And I think we think that is where it all starts, right? Is taking care of yourself. And that's mind, body, and spirit. That's doing the things that you love, being the person you want to be, and not having those regrets, right? That's where it starts. And I've experienced the other end of that. So it's a really personal mission of mine.
And go ahead. It doesn't matter sort of where you are in this moment, right? Because it's so easy to intellectualize and say, oh, of course, I need to make time I like to meditate. I'm going to make time for it. And yet it doesn't always happen, right? And so we see that at this stage of our life, women tend to fall in like one of three categories. Those women who I have always taken such good care of myself. And now I feel like my body's turned on me. Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Things are not the way they used to be. I don't know what to do anymore. No matter what I try, it doesn't work. And then there are women who spent their entire life putting everybody else first, to the point of the story that you told, Jeannie, right? I take care of everybody else. I find time for that. Why can't I figure out how to make that time for myself? They understand intellectually, I've got to do it, but how, right? I don't know how. And then there are, and I think this is, well, they're probably evenly split. The other group of women are women who have been inconsistent their whole life. Oh, sometimes I'm really on, I'm exercising, I'm this, and then I'm off, and then I'm on, and then I'm off. And now I'm 50 plus or 40 something or 60 something. And I realize shit's going downhill fast, excuse my language. And if I don't get a hold of it now, then what? But in all of those circumstances, it comes to, yes, I get it. I know I have to eat right. I know I have to meditate, right? If women are in this group with us today, they're lifelong learners. They're women, this is not their first rodeo. They understand what needs to be done, but it doesn't make it any easier to do it, right? And that's when we have to go underneath the hood, because it's not just saying, okay, here's the new habit I'm going to put. You have to lift the hood, go under the hood and say, what can I change about the inner working that's going to make it easier for me to do it now?
So when you say go under the hood and work on the inner workings, does this mean things like making sure these women feel that they deserve the time, that they deserve to take care of themselves? I mean, is that what you're working on? Are we going to that level?
Yeah, I think that, for everybody, it's different. In some cases, it's all of those old stories that we tell ourselves about who we're supposed to be, as Dana was saying, shoulding, right? In other cases, it's just a lack of clarity. I'm not really sure what I want. I never really thought about it in that way.
But doesn't everyone want to be healthy? So is there clarity in that? I want to be healthy, or is that too broad?
So it's too broad. And so I think, so the tool that we offer for this, one of those under the hood tools, is to start with the feeling state, right? Because if you're attached to one specific outcome, rarely happens the way you think it's going to happen or looks the way you think it's going to look. But it doesn't mean that your pursuit of it isn't going to result in what you want if you're clear about how you want to feel, right? And so we have a tool that we call compass point. And it's very simple. If you think about a compass keeps you always headed in the direction that you want to go. And yet it doesn't matter if you're going up a mountain, under the water, have to take a different path. None of that matters. If you follow the compass, you're constantly moving in this direction of that best version of yourself, right? So how do we know what that is? And so your compass point, the thing that you use as that director, is how do I want to feel about myself and about my life on my very last day? If you bring that down to a simple statement, a word, a paragraph, something that to you embodies, like brings it to like a lump in your throat. This is the way I want to feel about myself and my life on my very last day. That becomes your compass. And for everyone, that's different, right? We have women who overthink this and spend months thinking, oh, what's right? And it's very hard for them to like drill it down. Others come to it like this, one word, I want to feel proud is one of our campers. I want to feel proud of myself. Now for her, when she says, I want to feel proud of myself and of my life on my very last day, boom, every single thing that could get in her way falls away, right? For someone else, that might not be the right word, right? For someone else, it might need to have something that's more expansive. When I talk about my compass, it's, I want to love my people so hard, they feel it for generations to come.
Oh, is that personally what you say, Wendy?
This is my compass, right? This is my compass.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to let that amount of love in. Because before I started my reinvention, I was one of the women that took care of everybody else. And not only did I put myself last, I didn't let it in. They wanted to love me the same way, but I didn't let it in. So for me, when I have that compass of I want to love in that way, I want to let it in, and I want to live doing what I fear if I want it, right? For those are the things that tripped me up. So for my compass, when I say that, it keeps me in the direction. So for each of you, this starting point about how do I become this best healthy version of myself starts with, how do you want to feel about yourself and your life on your very last day? And then what you do, we start to build off of that.
What about you, Dana? What's your compass point?
So mine is a little broader, but I can still, again, the trick to creating your compass point is to keep it tight enough that you can remember it. So for me, I was that person that had all these words smattered on a page, and I was trying to figure out, like, how do I hone this in, right? And that's what we encourage you to do, actually, is to start just playing with this. Put words and phrases down that kind of embody how it is you want to feel. For me, it's also about love. It's about loving so fully and completely and vulnerably. And there's also an element of loving myself is part of that as well. It's also about living wholeheartedly. And to me, that means so many things. It's being courageous, it's being adventurous, it's learning, it's playing all in, it's being fully alive and seizing my days, having energy, choosing things that energize me, where I feel like I have this, where I can give everything that I want to give and do everything I want to do. It's taking care of myself. That living wholeheartedly encompasses a lot. But for me, when I say that phrase, I know exactly what it means. I am playing all in and I am seizing life. And the last part of it is being at peace. And at peace to me means there's an element of being proud. There's an element of being truly knowing that I've spent my life in a way that's aligned with who I really am. It's knowing that I've made an impact the way I want to make an impact. So again, there's different things that are kind of underneath that banner of at peace. But to me, I can remember that compass point. It's love, it's living wholeheartedly, and it's being at peace, right? And the reason why, a couple of reasons why the compass point is so important. Number one, every goal we have is about a feeling state. So when all of you are thinking about, who do I want to be my healthiest version of myself? If you're thinking I need to lose 10 pounds, let's just pretend that's a goal. It's never about the 10 pounds. It's about how you want to feel. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel energized. I want to feel great in my jeans. I want to feel strong when I hike up the mountain this winter or this summer, right? So every goal we have is about a feeling state.
I'm going to interrupt you and just ask, but what if it's like really about being health, like not getting disease, or your doctor says you need to do this?
Yeah, that's also about a feeling state. I want to feel energized and vibrant and fully alive my entire life. I want to feel like I can do all these great things that I want to do until the day I die. I want to feel, right? Yeah. That goal is also about how you want to feel. So the reason why the compass point is so powerful is you can use it as a filter every single day. So when you're going grocery shopping, do these food choices move me closer to my compass point, right? Or does it take me further away? When you're looking at a new decision, it could be a job decision, a relationship decision, and whatever I do, my compass point, that's the way you want to be experiencing your life. That's the way you want to be feeling. Or does it move me further away? I can tell you right now, I had some jobs that look great on paper, and they were moving me up the totem pole, and it looked, check, 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 right up the corporate ladder. They were not aligned with my compass point,
right?
Or what I thought I should do.
What I really like how you brought it back to this compass point to, health and talking about at the grocery store, because I think that's really important, because that's where the rubber meets the road to me as far as health. It's like making decisions. How do you keep making those decisions, avoiding, the fatty stuff or whatever, just the junk food, and also staying active. And so, I mean, I think that maybe what you're saying is, if you are trying to think, okay, I know I need to go out and do a walk, whatever, but here's this great movie I want to watch too. Is that like what you're saying? You think which one's moving me to my way?
What it is, every single day, even on those days where we feel like crap, those days that we can barely get out of bed, there's still something you can move to even inch yourself towards the compass point. Maybe it's staying under the covers that day, right? But if part of your compass point is, I want to feel vibrant and alive and like I live fully, I'm just using that as an example. If that is part of how you define your compass point, there's always something you can do. And so in the spirit of health and wellness, a lot of times we put pressure on ourselves that we need to get our 3 cardio workouts in. We should be lifting our weights 2 or 3 times a week. We need to have low sugar, low carbs, right? No fat. Like, we put this pressure. We move from this diet to this diet to this diet to this diet. We would offer up the suggestion that, what if you just said, what is the one thing I can do today to move closer to my compass point? What is the one thing I can do today to feel more energized, to feel more vibrant, to feel more healthy? We don't need to be perfect. It's about a lifestyle, right? And so if you can get clear on that one thing each day, it's going to make a big difference.
Well, I also think, I mean, I think that kind of thing can help you move you to the right direction. But at some point, these things also become habits, right? And they become like, if you are choosing more of the vegetables, whatever, every day, and moving, that compass point that's helping you. At some point, you're not even probably thinking about it that much. You don't have to remind yourself, because it's become such a good habit, which is, I think,
it becomes an altered lifestyle, right? There was an article in the New York Times, I think this past week, about, and there's all kinds of research on this, the what the hell issue with dieters. People who have a history of dieting have this what the hell thing. So if they eat 1 cupcake, even though they ate more calories than they planned, unlike somebody who has not been a dieter or isn't fighting with themselves over this group of people now say, what the hell? I may as well just eat like a hound for the rest of the day. I'm going to have the bubble is burst. I'm going to have whatever I want. It's ruined now. It's maybe tomorrow. Right. So what happens is, when we're constantly pushing ourselves to, I have to get my blood pressure down. I have to get my sugar to the right level. I have to lose this many. I have to. The brain actually fights against you. like a child, right? It's repelled by that. And it says, I won't do it. I don't want to do it. And so you're in conflict with yourself. So once you have the goals, we're not saying don't have goals. Of course you have goals. You always have goals. You can trust yourself to not stop thinking, I want to lose 10 pounds. Okay. You can trust yourself to not stop thinking about your goal. You're always going to think about that. But now instead of fighting with yourself for it, you're using this compass as a filter. What can I do in this moment that moves me closer to or farther from my compass point? You're using a compass as a filter when you're sitting there and being like, do I take a walk? Do I watch the Netflix? Which one brings me closer to my compass point? The walk. Okay, I'll take the walk and then I'll watch the Netflix.
Yeah.
And so when you're doing it this way, it feels, it's like natural living rather than being forced. And it doesn't mean, Jeannie, and you know from working with us in the career program, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do hard things. You're going to have to do hard things if you have a big goal. But this is a way to ensure that on those moments, those days where you don't have it in you to do the big stuff or the hard things, you're still moving closer to your goal instead of staying stuck or moving away from it.
And I have to say that I've always worked out to some degree, but I'm working out more now than ever, and I'm probably in better shape than I've been in my life. And which is, I'm 61, so you wouldn't think, but I've kind of started swimming, and because I was a runner, then I started swimming, and I didn't really like swimming, but it was the same thing. I had to do something to help. I couldn't do running anymore, so I had to learn to like swimming. And somebody asked me, how long did it take you until you enjoyed swimming? And I was like, about 7 years. So, now I do. And now, so I'm a glutton for punishment, but it's become a real habit. I swam today. I found, and this is something I've realized, that if I don't work out, I either swim or I ride a bicycle. So if I don't do one of those in the day, my mental state doesn't hold, I lose it mentally. So, and I've had that experience. So I think that those are the kinds of things, when you start doing them and they become part of your life, you'll get to see all the benefits and feel the way you think you should feel, and that you can't do without it. So, and
it builds on itself, right? It's a build rather than a push.
Yes.
So many of us have these big New Year's resolutions, right? And everybody is going to join the gym, and usually when we have a goal, we start out all gung-ho. The challenge with that is it relies on willpower, right? And willpower wanes, and we get busy, and willpower just, goes the way of the dodo, and so does our goal. And so the compass point allows you to be consistent, because again, what can I do today to move me closer to my compass point? And to your point, Jeannie, so do habits, right? Yeah. So with the work that we do in Camp Reinvention, we talk a lot about this compass point, again, as being your filter. All your goals should be aligned with that compass point, whether it's a health goal, a career goal, a relationship goal, whatever it is. Any goal we have, we want to make sure it's truly aligned with that compass point. There's a beautiful quote by Gandhi that I love. He says, happiness is when what you think, what you do, and what you say are in harmony. Right? And I love it because it means you're aligned. You're aligned with what's important to you.
Yes.
Right? Stuff you say is important to you, you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Right? There's this beautiful alignment. And so that compass point helps you stay aligned. And the goals, of course, you're going to set, and those habits you're going to create, and we take people through this in our process, the habits you're going to create are going to support your goal. We need to create a habit or habits to support our goal, because then we're not relying on willpower, right?
Right.
And that habit can be tiny. That habit can be tiny. It can be, I'm just going to lay out my yoga pants at night. So I put those on first thing in the morning. So I move my little butt at some point before I put on my regular clothes.
Right.
Moving your butt may not be perfect. It may not be going to the gym. It may not be going for the 3-mile walk. It might just be going downstairs and stretching for 5 minutes. But you know that you've done something that's movement. That's good, right? I'm just using that as an example. That happens to be mine, right?
That's your thing.
That's my thing, right? So the movement isn't the same every day, nor is it perfect, but there's something, right?
Well, I would like put on the yoga pants and then just wear. You see people wearing yoga pants, and I think there was a whole comedy routine about people wearing yoga pants and they just never really get to yoga. But anyway, but I want to open it up to some questions. A lot of us are searching for more and more activity, more better approaches to our health. So I want to invite people, if you have a question, either raise your hand or write something in the chat, because this is your opportunity. They are the experts at, motivation and just realignment and all that. I think this is a great opportunity for if you have a certain situation that you want to bring up. And so I wanted to also ask you what are some of the other compass, as far as health, what are some of the other compass things you've heard of from people, and how they, in your practice, how they've been able to state it? I mean, you work a lot in just stating it, what it is. And then what are other compass points you've heard of?
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dana.
One that stands out to me is one of our gals who was looking to quit her job to write a book, and then life happened, right? Her dad got sick. All of a sudden she had to take care of dad. She wanted to get another job because she needed money during this time. She's writing on the side, but her compass point became, I want to have a hell of a lot of fun, right? She wants to end her life knowing she enjoyed this journey, this adventure. And so that's her compass point. Like, yeah, she's taking care of dad. Yeah, she's got a job, by the way, that's better than she ever imagined. But I want this, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to enjoy my life, being central to all of her choices. And with that, she got a job that was so much better than she expected. And she's enjoying writing and taking the pressure off because she wants to make it a hell of a lot of fun, right? So a simple compass point, but beautiful. And I mean, I can certainly say for myself that if I were in my younger years making choices that were aligned with the compass point rather than the shoulds, I think I would have given myself permission years ago, years before I did, to get out of the career that I was unhappy in and to do the work I'm doing today.
Wow.
So many of us are making choices according to the shoulds, right? What we should do.
And can your compass point change over time? Or is it?
Of course it can. Of course it can. And it evolves just like you do, right? We all evolve over time. And this work that we're doing is to help with that evolution. Believe me when I tell you, like this is the compass point is the top of the process. It's the very top of the process. It gets you clear on how am I constantly moving toward the life that I want, the me that I want, every single day without 100% of the time, right? Imagine if you use this as your one tool, nothing else, you'll constantly be getting better and better in your life, moving closer and closer to the way that you want to feel about your life. But then from that, we teach you how to create goals that are in alignment with that compass point. But once you have those goals, it's not about that push. The way we learned to achieve goals is put your nose to the grindstone, suck it up, buttercup. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, we get so stuck. And then we start beating ourselves up and blaming ourselves. So this isn't about not creating tangible, tactical, measurable goals. It absolutely is. We have to act, thought without action is nothing. You must act. So the compass point is that simple thing that you can always use when you don't have what you need to really be in drive mode. And then you set goals for yourself. And we have a really specific methodology for how to achieve goals that is not in that state of push. That's kind of more of a rolling agile process. And that's a whole other workshop, right? But there's another under the hood piece that you can use, and that's visualization. And it's really, really powerful. So I'm sure you've all heard the word manifest bandied about. I think it was the word of 2021, for the love of God. It's all you hear everywhere. And some people are all in, yes, I've manifested this, and others think that's bibbity bobbity boo. Like, it's just meaningless. Wherever you stand on it, there is an element of manifesting and visualization that is based in science. It's based in your physiology, and it can help you get unstuck when you're trying to do things that you keep trying to do and can't get yourself to do.
Well, can you explain that? Because I'm probably one of those people who like manifest.
Yeah, like, ew, bibbity bobbity boo, right?
You know?
Right. Dana and I are like science girls. So, and I will not go on a big science rant because I know that makes people roll their eyes in the back of their heads and want to die. So I'll keep it simple. But basically, your subconscious mind runs a lot of the show, that under the hood thing, right? It's what's feeding a lot of your choices. And that subconscious mind is completely programmable. So just like the rest of your brain, what you feed it, what you repeat in it is what grows there. Okay, that's just physiology. Repeat something, whether it's a thought over and over again, neural pathways grow in your brain, it grows that part of your brain. A behavior over and over again grows a pathway for that, becomes a habit. So whatever is repeated grows inside of your mind, in your subconscious as well. Unlike your conscious mind, your subconscious remembers everything. Okay, it's like a beautifully clean database, unlike our conscious mind. And again, that's a whole other workshop. Unlike your conscious mind, your subconscious is literal. So if you say, I don't want to be fat, it just hears fat. Okay, it's literal. It doesn't differentiate between real and imagined. So here's where that thing that feels like bibbity bobbity boo magic has some basis. Because in addition to your subconscious mind not being able to differentiate between real and imagined, it points you toward what you want. I think I must be boring.
So, I'm looking.
Somebody's
Everybody's muted. Is it somebody's dog? I heard a snore.
I heard a snore too.
Anyway, I'll pick up the pace. I'll tell a couple of jokes. I'll tell some jokes here.
I think everybody was muted. I don't know what that was, but anyway, it felt like somebody's dog.
So this subconscious mind it remembers everything. It's literal. It doesn't differentiate between real and imagined. It points you toward whatever you've put in there, right? That's that magical thing where all of a sudden your daughter is pregnant and you see pregnant people everywhere. You see baby clothes everywhere. Everything is baby, baby, baby. It's not that all of a sudden there's more of that in the world. Your subconscious is showing it to you. It points you toward what you program in there, and it only processes in the present tense. Okay, so this is why when people teach you visualization, you always visualize it as if it has already happened, present tense, because that's the way your subconscious mind understands. So if you make visualization part of your practice, what happens is under the hood, instead of this physiology working against us, which it often does, negativity bias, all that other stuff, now you're training it to work for you. And that's a super simple process, right? Super simple process. Get grounded, right? You've already got your compass point, so you know how the way you want to feel about yourself and about your life. You know what your health goals are, right? You know what you want to look like, or how you want to feel, or where you want to go, or what you want to be able, what mountain you want to be able to climb. You know what these aspirational goals are, right? So you get grounded, always a couple of deep breaths. That's what puts now the thinking part of your brain in charge. Okay, it helps you tap in. close your eyes and conjure up a scene. It does not matter if it's complete fantasy. It doesn't matter if it's possible or realistic. Conjure a scene that makes you feel the way your compass point makes you feel. Conjure a scene that has the image of that aspirational vision of you, feeling sexy and lithe, or climbing the highest mountain, or sailing across the ocean. Right? Just conjure a scene and stay with that scene just long enough that you feel it in your body. Okay. It usually only takes a couple of seconds. 15 seconds, you start to feel it in your body. And the way you know that, you get a lump in your throat, maybe a little smile creeps up on your face, little goosebumps. The moment you feel it in your body, you just release it, you're on with your day. You've told your subconscious mind what to look for. And between that and using your compass point, now all of those things that you've set out to actually do start to become doable, start to become easier for you.
That this makes sense. I'm gonna embarrass Christine Foley. Can you unmute yourself, Christine? Because Christine and I, as I said earlier, we are going to be going to Machu Picchu and climb the Inca Trail. And maybe Christine, does this resonate with you as far as like thinking about that hike?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that hike a lot because it's a pretty big hike for 4 days. So,
Right.
How long is it? I'm curious.
It's like it's 26 miles, but you go over a thing called Dead Woman's Pass, which is so terrible. And Christine and I have been talking, we've been going back and forth, but I just wanted to think if the idea of visualizing a goal, like seeing yourself on the top of that's what resonated with me. So I just thought.
Yeah. I've actually, been on my treadmill almost every day. And even though it's 9 months away, but, have to make some slow progress. So here's mine. So Jeannie, you know this, I think I downsized, right? And I've renovated a townhouse and it looks really cool. It's sleek, it's kind of modern, mid-century modern. And then one day I went, you know what? My house is so cool, but I don't feel like my house. That was kind of I still don't know how to do it, but maybe my compass point, like my house looks way cooler and more put together than I feel, how do I get to feel like my house?
Wow.
And there's a lot of pieces in that, but.
And what did you do? Are you still working towards that? Because
Yeah, but I'm in that typical problem too, is, I take care of everybody, my son, my elderly mom, my employees, my whatever. And so I'm not great at putting myself first. I'm trying harder to do that. But I do like to have fun. So, my motto for most of my career has been work hard, play hard. So I do try to get that in, sometimes I'm better than others, but.
I think the thing that I'm noticing is hiking the Inca Trail sounds as amazingly cool as any house could ever be. Putting it out there.
All right, good. No, yeah, I need that because sometimes, you get so internal in how you look at things. It's good to have other people learn that. I told a group of my friends yesterday and they were just super excited about it. So
that's awesome.
But how about that what you just said, Christine, was I want to feel as cool as my house. I know that's not your compass point, but there's something there, isn't there? That to Wendy, what do you think of that as kind of like a way to?
It's exactly the kind of thing that we want you to tap into, right? What does that mean? That can be a compass. Right? If you use filters of what you know about yourself, what you love, what you value, to make your choices, you no longer have to push. Should I buy this outfit or this one? Which one makes me feel like my house? This one's a little scary, but this one makes me feel like my house, right? So anything that you find that really resonates with you, that makes you feel the way you want to feel about yourself in your life, right? That's part of your core values, can become a filter for making choices. And when you practice that regularly, you're talking about this Inca Trail. I have a client who's 76 years old. She used this process to motivate herself to walk on a treadmill enough. And this is not a woman who exercises at all. Like she lives in New Orleans. She's a party girl, right? She's a party girl. At 76 years old, she just walked the Camino, and it's 100 miles in Spain.
Oh my gosh.
All by using this kind of visualization, compass point. How do I want to feel about? And all of a sudden, the getting on the treadmill, the walking through the park, it's not a task that like is being pushed on her anymore. It's oh, that's what I'm going to do because that gets me closer. Oh, I don't feel like walking on the treadmill, but I never thought about walking through the botanical garden. I think I'll go there today. All of a sudden, that subconscious mind starts to put you in the path of the things that get you what you want.
Okay, I love that story that she worked her way. I mean, that's real to that is so real to me that you took somebody who wasn't an exerciser and used this kind of concepts to see it as not, like you say, not a task, but a step. One every day is get a little step, as you say, getting you closer and closer. And then she achieved it. Oh my gosh, I'd love to do
She's
that.
an amazing woman.
And we're all, I mean, and that's another thing, I guess, I want to clarify with people, because I hear so much of I mean, you get this working with women in this age group, is that the feeling that it's already too late. And so that's what I wanted both of you to address that, because that's,
I was just going to say, in general, if we're not making progress on something that's important to us, usually one of a few things is showing up. Usually it's a belief that's undermining what you want. I'm too old to do that. Talk about a belief that's undermining it. If you believe that you're too old to do that, you're not going to try to hike the Inca Trail. You're not going to try to. The minute we believe something like that, that holds us back. And sometimes the belief may be something that's just kind of, we're not really thinking about it so much. Like, so for example, let's say you have a business and you're working your ass off and you're not making progress on making the money you want. Chances are there's a belief in there that might be holding you back. Maybe there's a belief that you're not even thinking about consciously, like, I'm not worth making good money, or who am I to ask for good money, or right, or I've never been good at making money. Like, there could be a belief in there that you're not even really aware of, because a lot of our beliefs are kind of unconscious. We're not aware of them. We need to, if we're feeling stuck in something, take a look at the beliefs that we might be having and call them to question, because we look at the world through our beliefs, the lens of our beliefs. So that's where you get to play a little bit like, what if I took on the belief of, I'm not too old, I can do whatever the hell I want at this age. If you just played with that belief, you'll start seeing evidence of other people that are hiking the Camino Trail and doing things like that, right? But it's not until we shift our belief that we're going to start looking through a different lens. The other thing I wanted to share too is I put in the chat here a free ebook that we have, and I'm just going to pop it in here if you want to copy and paste it or click it. The ebook that we have is called Freedom from What Keeps You Stuck. And we find that there's some traps that so many of us fall into. So whether it's a health and wellness goal, whatever it is that we're trying to make progress on in our life, a lot of times we're not making progress because we're getting stuck in one of these traps. And one of them I'll kind of reveal is the shoulding trap, the ways in which we should on ourselves. And there's a couple other traps too. So in this little ebook, we share what those 3 traps are and some of the action steps you can take to move through those traps. And as you're kind of reading this too, you might be like, oh my God, I got all these. And we all do, right? We all find ourselves stuck in these traps at different times. The key is to not staying stuck. We all get stuck. The key is to not stay stuck and to find the trap right now that is resonating for you most, for this particular goal that matters to you. So again, we're kind of talking about health and wellness here, but whatever goal, right? Take a look at which trap is holding you back the most. They all might be showing up. Which one's the most? And take a look at some of those action items that we gave you that will help you move through it.
and one of the things I like about that is that once you see how to get unstuck, you can, in the future, if you fall in again, you have the confidence, first of all, I've done this before. I've gotten unstuck, and the shortcut. So I think it's brilliant. Yeah. And what about you, Wendy? This idea that people have, you guys deal with the same age group, women over 50, 45, 50. How do you approach it if you get that people say things like, I've missed my chance, or, especially with the health and wellness, especially that. What do you say about that?
Well, one of the pillars of Camp Reinvention is that it is never too late to pursue a dream, to pursue anything to make your life better. We believe that wholeheartedly. All of the work that we do is based on that. It is absolutely never, ever too late. And at any point that you start to dive in on any level, change happens quickly. We think that change takes forever because we measure it in these big giant chunks. But if you train your mind to pay attention to the small things and say, I behaved a little differently and I got a little bit of a different result. I did this thing and that felt good. When you start to embed that into that evidence, right, of what you're capable of what you're doing, and you notice the build, you see that change starts to happen rapidly, right? So you are absolutely nothing is too late. And while you have breath in your body, it's not too late. And the tie-in to what Dana was talking about with belief is that you have to believe it's possible. You don't have to believe 100%. And as a matter of fact, I guarantee you won't believe 100%, right? But you just have to have that window cracked just a little bit to believe that maybe, just maybe, this is possible. If you have that and you follow your compass, then it's never too late.
That's great. I love that. And that's, I've so preached that whole thing for 5 years. And then we meet you guys and it's like, yes, we're all on this together.
It's all about aging boldly and kicking the age culture, right?
Right. That's right.
We are in sync with next tribe and camp.
And the fun thing that's coming up, a couple of things. One is we're going to work together, Next Tribe and Camp Reinvention, because we had a short story contest last year, but this year we're going to have a essay contest, and the subject is going to be reinvention. And we'll have, judges who are writers and editors at high level. And the prize is going to be to go through one of their 12-week training courses for free. That's the prize. So it's a really amazing prize, and we're so happy to be working with them, with Dana and Wendy. And the other thing is, I just put a link in the chat. They have a free workshop coming up. If you want to get into this a little more, if this resonates with you and you see the value, which I certainly do, which makes me think about what it is that I'm, every day you can be asking this question. And I love that when I'm, it's like I have the devil and the angel on my shoulder, and the devil saying, eat that ice cream. And then the angel saying, is that getting you closer to your goal? But this is an opportunity to do more with that. And so I wanted to let you know that. And Nancy,
can you share a little bit about it, Jeannie?
Yes. Please tell us a little bit about it.
That'd be awesome. So it's a free workshop we're holding. When we do free workshops, we kind of over deliver, to be honest. Like, we provide you with tons of information. And this workshop is all about reclaiming the best of you. And so it's mind, body, spirit. And it's all about, what do you need to do to feel energized and vibrant and healthy as you're embracing these next decades. So we're having the workshop at 2 different times. We're having it on March 9th and March 10th. March 9th, we're having it, it's a Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And March 10th, we're doing it at 11 a.m. Eastern. And so this is the link that Jeannie put in there to go ahead and register for the workshop. So again, it's a free workshop. And what we're going to dive into are some of the pitfalls that you might fall into as you look at your health and wellness goals and what to do to overcome them. Also, some of the tools that you can use to move forward consistently. And we have a proven 4-step process that we're going to share with you to help you get traction fast and to not rely on willpower, which is so important. That's why most of our goals go flying out the window, is we rely on willpower, and willpower does not last. So we have a 4-step process we'll take you through that'll help you really move forward and get some traction on your health and wellness goals. So we hope you will join us. You know what, I will put, we got the link here to sign up. I'll just put my email here too. If you have any questions about it, just let us know that you joined us here tonight, and I'd be happy to hop on the phone, as would Wendy, of course. I'm just happen to be typing mine, but go ahead, send us an email. We'd be happy to hop on the phone.
Put mine in.
Questions. So
Wonderful. Well, I've learned so much. I mean, I already knew what you guys do, but seeing it in the context of health and wellness really was great for me to think about that way. And Christine and I are going to be envisioning the same thing. We'll be envisioning it's fast in October. And I know we're going to get there. I have no doubt. So anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed this as much as I did. And thank you, Wendy and Dana, for coming. And we look forward to
you have homework. You have homework. Play with your compass point. Start playing with it. Okay?
That's right. So the homework is, what's your compass point, right? Would you say that kind of think about that? What
is your compass point? Play with it.
I love that. I mean, yeah, now I'm thinking too. I thought I kind of knew, but now I want to give it some more thought. So I appreciate that. Let's all do our homework, girls. Anyway, thanks so much. And we look forward to working together again soon.
All right. Thank you so
Good
much.
night, all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Jeannie.
Thank you. Bye-bye.